Alright, let's do this. So after spending a week exploring New Zealand's North Island, it was time to head to the biggest city in the South Island, Christchurch. From Christchurch, we hit the road and headed south to Dunedin to spend the night. The next day, we went to visit these giant rock cliffs called Tunnel Beach. Since we're kinda obsessed with cliffs, we spent a few hours here just chilling, exploring the place, and admiring the view. Then we drove around Otago Peninsula where we headed up to Harrington Point, which is located at the end of the peninsula. The drive along Otago Peninsula was pretty as a picture, and we got to see the sunset, which was amazing.
1, 2.
So the next morning, it was time to hit the road again to one of the remote regions of the island called Fiordland, where we spent a night in Tianau. On the way, we made a quick pit stop at Nugget Point Lighthouse, which is one of the oldest lighthouses in the country. We spent our time here trying to find the resemblance between nuggets and rocks, and I guess it looks like nuggets? I don't know. The next day, we headed over to Milford Sound, a destination that we were all looking forward to. It's actually a fjord. It is the only fjord in New Zealand that is accessible by road. Along the way, we made a stop at Ellington Valley, Mirror Lake, and passed through Homer Tunnel. Once we arrived at Milford Sound, we took a ferry that brought us around, and due to its remoteness, there's a whole bunch of wildlife here. The whole experience was pretty exciting. After spending most of our day in Milford Sound, we drove to Queenstown to spend the night. Queenstown is such a beautiful town surrounded by lakes and mountains, and it's a famous holiday town in New Zealand. Here we took a cable car up Queenstown Hill, rode down the hill on a luge, and appreciated the view over the mighty Lake Wakatipu. We woke up the next day to visit Glenorchy. It's a small settlement at the end of Lake Wakatipu. It's famous for this red house, and it's known for filming Lord of the Rings. That night, we decided to camp by the lake at this campervan site called 25 Mile Stream. Waking up to the sight of this lake is probably one of the best campervan experiences we've had. I mean, just look at this. It was a great way to start the day, but we still had a lot more to see. Thus, our mission continues to the small and quaint town of Twizel. The journey to Twizel was so rich in scenery. We made a quick pit stop at the mountain route called Linda's Pass. Once we arrived in Twizel, settled down, we decided to squeeze a mini trip up north to see the highest mountain in the country, Mount Cook. We did a little hike through Hooker Valley Track, and we got to see the glacier.
We're at Hooker Valley and that's Mount Cook.
After spending the night in Twizel, it was time to head back to Christchurch before catching our flight to Auckland. And as usual, we had to make a few pit stops on the way. We went to see the bluest lake we've ever seen in our lives called Lake Pukaki. And only 35 minutes away is Lake Tekapo. We finally reached the end of our road trip once we arrived in Christchurch. Overall, our New Zealand trip was purely amazing. It's such a beautiful country with picturesque landscapes. Every single inch of the country was just so scenic. When you're there, be sure to get yourself a campervan, hit the road, and just enjoy the surprises that New Zealand has to offer.